Welcome, Astro family, to another Hardwood and Astroturf episode. I think this is episode 22. We've been going for a long time, people. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for hanging out with us. Every time we got these streams, we've been having a blast week in and week out. I'm happy to be here. We are at the playoffs in the NBA series,
That's right.
people. And so far, so good. Happy to have my brothers here, Hakeem and Rayvon.
hmm
How the man doing, man?
They're doing pretty good, man. As you say, the playoffs in full swing. Round one, probably not what would get everybody most excited, but um, they say that this year should be wide open in terms of who could possibly move forward and what's not, especially in the East. Um,
Yeah.
we can talk about it a little bit later, but I share my in-depth thoughts on that. But it should be an exciting first round.
So I guess you all stoked for this episode. You all hyped up and
Yeah,
ready to go.
yeah,
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 for
yeah.
sure, for sure.
Easy, easy.
I
What about
do,
you,
I do,
Hakeem?
I'm doing pretty good. The NBA playoffs have inspired me to find my stroke in the basketball. We had a, we had a game. Everyone and I had a
Yeah,
game. It was Friday. Yeah, Friday.
yeah.
We cooking some guys. Man, we was playing pretty good, we balling. Hit a
Mm.
couple pointers, some floaters. So
Wait,
I feel
Rayvon
inspired.
was cooking and he was what he
Man,
was doing.
I was assisting. I was serving the things. Just passing the ball,
For playing that
Come
defense, shout out to Marcus Smart for winning
you
Defensive
know,
Player of the Year.
you know. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's how it was.
nice, nice. I excited peoples and I really ain't gonna waste the time, but as always, we gotta do the housekeeping ritual. Peoples, if you are in the stream, don't forget hit that like button so that the algorithm could do its thing on YouTube and send out the message to the others that Astro Bros are live
hmm
and share with your friends manually. Bring them on to the stream because we're gonna have a good one today. Anyways, people, last week we did some playing predictions with the playing teams. We had Nets and Cavaliers, and we
Yeah,
had Hawks, and we had Hornets, we had Clippers, we had
Timberwolves, yeah.
yeah Timberwolves,
and
Pelicans,
Spurs.
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 Peoples, we made some predictions. Let me start with Hakeem. Hakeem, can you give us a little recap on your prediction for the Hawks and Hornets game?
I chose the Hornets, and the Hornets did not show up to play.
hmm
I don't know if the guys took this game a little too. They didn't take it serious enough because they beat them last time they faced off.
Mm-hmm.
But the Hornets just didn't show up. They didn't show up defensively, as you know, as we predicted. As Ravon was saying, we expect to be a very high offensive game, and it was for the most part. But the Hawks showed up a little better defensively than we expected. Well, I expected because Ravon got it right. But
Yeah.
the Hornets just weren't ready to play. You know, LaMelo didn't have a great game. No
hmm
one really showed up for the Hornets. They were jacking up a lot of threes, and
Yeah,
because they were down so early in the game, or I think midway in the game, they felt the pressure. And it's a one game. It was just one game. You know, win or lose. So they felt the pressure to start moving at a higher pace and try to just jack
yeah,
up some shots
yeah,
and
Yeah.
hopefully catch back. You know, cut down that lead, cut down the margin that Hawks had on them. But you know, it wasn't there to be.
yeah.
They have like
Yeah, just to piggyback off what Hakeem saying, that they just showcase the true example of what people expect a young team to be. The emotions were flying high. They weren't shooting well. Um, Miles Bridges got ejected from the game. Through
yeah.
his mouthpiece, I find like it was it
Yeah,
was it
they
was
weren't.
immature, and
Yeah, they weren't ready.
thinking that they had the same experience last year, they would have been better prepared. Pretty much
Mm-hmm.
a similar team. Uh, it didn't turn out to be that way, but I truthfully didn't expect it to be the Hawks. The Hawks were more seasoned. Trey Young, especially, more seasoned, more experience in those type of situations, so he was able to power the Hawks through.
Yeah. Good leader. Talk to us about the Timberwolves versus the Clippers.
It
I
was what
think
it was.
I want. It was a good game. I want to
It
say
was.
that Paul George being out was a major factor. You know,
Paul
if
George
Paul
played
George,
that game. What do you mean?
Our George Plavy.
Paul George played that game. No, it was the last. It was the game for the Clippers. The Clippers versus the
sorry,
Pelicans. Yeah,
against
against the
Pelicans. Sorry,
Pelicans.
he didn't
Yeah,
play. He didn't
yeah,
play. Sorry, my bad.
yeah.
Paul George dropped over. I think
He
32
or
points
34,
again.
something like
Yeah,
that.
32, 34. Yeah,
Yeah.
my bad, my bad.
hmm
I don't know what happened in that game. To be honest, Paul George was lighting him up. I I just when I look at scoreboards, where Paul George was quite efficient. He was playing well. He was scoring a lot of buckets. When I just look at scoreline, just really Anthony Edwards came alive.
Hmm.
Cat had a weak game actually by his
Yeah.
comparison. Cat actually fouled out. He didn't play well. I think he contributed in teams in terms of his points.
Hmm.
But Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell just put the team on their back and just power through. They showcased why they're stars and they brought it home when Cat failed to bring home the game. But that being said, I was just shocked that Clippers lost. Uh, I was shocked. I had no words for it to be honest.
Yeah. For me, of course, that's my team. I didn't expect Cat to have that bad of a game, but I didn't expect him
Atrocious.
to have a good game either because throughout the season series, the Clippers were giving him the fits. Um, for that whole time, we played them like 3 times in November, and he was terrible. And the same thing happened again, and it was probably the worst game that I've ever seen him play. And he just wouldn't. He just let his emotions get the best of him, and that's not something that you would expect from a star player on a up and coming team. That you got to be able
Yeah.
to understand to keep your emotions in check. Even if you get tackled the game, you got to find different ways to impact the game. Not falling out, not complaining with the referees every second for every call. You know that they
Mhm.
come into the game to play physical with you. Don't even let you touch the ball as much as possible. So you got to take advantage of that
Yeah.
and create that space for your teammates. And it was quite immature for him and quite embarrassing. And a lot of people started him in the national media in the U.S. about his bad game, truthfully, and deservingly so, truthfully.
It deserved
Yeah,
it. It was an awful game.
yeah,
He didn't live up to expectations. The playoff atmosphere. Although that wasn't quite a playoff game, it
hmm,
was a playing game.
yeah,
Still, the intensity is much higher,
yeah,
and teams are going to devise game plans specifically to stop the best player on
yeah.
the team
Correct.
from performing at their best. So he feel, but I believe he should bounce back better.
Yeah,
In the playoff series now. They
yeah,
made that. And they got the result.
yeah.
So
Correct.
Yeah. Um. So we knew that Nets were going to be victorious over Cavaliers, and then we had Pelicans
Yeah.
and Spurs. But what's next for these losing teams though? Like they got an early break. They got early summer,
Yeah,
so
I want to start off with this one because um, I feel kind of sorry for the Cavaliers. They had a tremendous season. In a typical season, they would have made the playoffs easily. I don't think that they would have made any noise, truthfully, because they don't got that punch, especially on offense to keep them afloat when the defensive intensity raises. But they would have at least made the playoffs. They feel like they deserve to make it because they played well for the whole year. But it's sad to see.
mhm,
I did pick the Hawks to beat them if once they have made the first playing game, and so sad so happened. Um, but I think for this offseason, they just need to regroup. They need to find some sort of offensive weapon. I don't know what they're going to do with Colin Sexton. He could be that person coming back from an injury. I'm not really sure. Karis
they
LeVert
gotta
is a little
find
bit
find
hot and
some
cold.
roles for Levert as well.
Yeah,
They got
he's a little
Levert,
bit hot
so
and cold, so I don't know what is the ideal role for him, but figuring that out would be good. And getting back Colin
mhm,
Sexton, he could figure out how to keep, have offensive options when maybe somebody else isn't going in. This body could go. Darius Garner has been the constant on offense. It can't be only him going forward because they're not going to make it very far continuously in that means. Or maybe Evan Mobley could increase his offensive repertoire and develop
mhm,
his game over the summer to be more of an offensive player. He's been great defensively. So has Jarrett Allen. So has the team on the whole. They've been a great defensive team. They just need to find some way to get some hype for offense. For me, for um, the Spurs, I think, for me, I feel like they just need to decide on a direction. I feel like they have decided on a direction in terms of, are we going to the young guys? Are we going to stay mid? Kind of like that. Like when you think about the Indiana Pacers, is a team that they might make the playoffs, they may not, because they kind of got a mid kind of team. I feel
mhm.
like the Spurs in that kind of area is either commit to the tank and get a bunch of new young players and build up from there, or like try to make some moves to get a better team around the Dejounte Murray or something like that. Um, that's up to them. I think Pop got a big stake in the direction of the team. So I'm not sure where exactly they're going to go. I would say they could lean into the players that they have and probably find some more players to put around it, but they're more of a development type of team, so they might stay at the point that they are for a little bit. For the Clippers, that was kind of tough. That Paul George man get COVID as soon as they
Yeah.
had that again. That's a lot
Man
because
said he went and get it like
He actually got COVID, or he was just, or they weren't sure. They weren't
yeah,
sure if he
well, he
actually.
had health and safety protocol, so he had some contact with COVID.
Maybe
That's
he might have been exposed. Yeah, we
yeah,
didn't just waiting for that time. Yeah, time frame.
yeah. That's just so untimely. Because they had them
Quite.
to beat the Pelicans, but it
Mhm.
was it didn't work out to be that way. I'm glad the Pelicans team are getting some experience because when Zion comes back next year, they're going to be
If he comes back.
yeah, if he comes back, that's also a factor up in the air, but I think he will. They're going to be another team in the West to keep an eye on. Truthfully, I don't think they have a chance. Well, we can get into that. I can just say no. I don't think they got a chance against any of the playoff teams that are playing right now. Truthfully, but I'm glad they made it. I'm glad these guys are going to get some experience at least in the playoffs. So that's fine with me. Sad for the Clippers, but
just 4 games,
yeah,
but hey,
yeah,
it is what it is.
For
yeah.
Four
games.
games is enough.
All
Hakim,
right.
anything from you?
Before you go, wherever you want to talk about the Hawks, or you want me to start? No, the Hawks, the Charlotte, the Hornets.
um,
I feel like he really covered the Hornets
yeah,
in that he
yeah.
said it was a young team. We expect that from a young team, I guess, and that they didn't really come out to play. Emotions got the best of them. Blah blah blah. So
All right, that's fair.
Well, we
Uh,
got a message from Codes in the stream, coming through. Good to see you, Codes.
Codes, jeez,
Yeah.
being a well, boy, we gotta get you back on this stream, my brother.
He wants
all
to know
right.
how can Trae Young beat the Heat. We can get into that as soon as we talk about our well, each of the first round matchups so far. So we can dive deep into those matchups in a couple.
All right.
We can let Hakeem continue. I don't know what other thoughts he
So,
had on the
so for
teams.
me, for me, I guess I could start with the Hornets. Uh, the Hornets have to not blow it up. They gotta make a few trades. I think bring some more mature players, some veterans,
Hmm.
to just help find that balance in terms of the personalities and experience for the team. Because the team is quite a young team, and I don't think Gordon Hayward is the man right now. He's been known to be a little injury prone as of
Too
the
injury prone.
yeah. For the time he got that horrific
Yeah,
injury for
the
Celtics, he's
Celtics.
been
Yeah.
injury prone. So they need to get a new vet, a couple of vets, maybe trade for him, get some vets, and kind of just work on what they have. Because they do have a good young nucleus of players. So that's for Hornets. For the Clippers, I almost kind of feel sorry for the Clippers because they have such a good team, right? Realistically, do, but Kawhi didn't play the whole season. Paul
Yeah.
George, I mean, he's been
Injured.
injured for a good part of the season. So their team is really a good team. It just they've not been healthy enough to play. So to know that they trade their whole future for these two superstars, it's just like where do you go from here? I would say run it back again next year. Pray that Kawhi is about 100%. Kawhi does seem more committed to this team. He's been, in terms of he's actually come out to the games, been on the bench, watching, showing up. He's been seeming more committed. Like he seems to be to actually, like I said, like this team to be honest. So I think they should run it back next year. Pray everybody's healthy, and just put in the off-season training and run it back for the Cavaliers. As everyone said, I feel for the Cavaliers as well too. Like they had
Tough
they
luck.
really they really had a good season. Like they were in fourth at the All Star break. I mean, injuries derailed them, but
Yeah.
they played well. I would say if Colin Sexton comes back, well, not if, I hope he should come back, but let's say if at the end of the day, he is a good attacking player, offensive player. So that's gonna help with their offensively to with their numbers. So I would say for them to run it back or make some trades, maybe trade out Caris LeVert, maybe trade one of their defensive pieces and try to get a more offensive oriented player, just to get a more balanced team. Because defense is going to be so good in teams. I think they need to score points
Yeah.
to defend that lead, right? Because the games nowadays is not the way the NBA set up is not going to be it's not really defensively mindset. It's about attacking. Obviously, the way the fouls are called easy at times is really about scoring. Because the fans want to see high scoring games, so they might go trade a defensive player too. Hopefully, get some nice picks and run it back again. And the last team I think would be who's in that team in the West? Talk about
You
Pelican,
talking about the Spurs?
Spurs.
Mhm. I
I
think,
thought Pop
hey.
was retiring. Honestly, I thought I said like I want to say like Pop should retire and just get a whole new coach, whole new
Yeah,
culture,
yeah,
start from the
correct.
ground
I
up,
feel like that's the way to go
just
to,
just
but
just, just rebuild because he's the most decorated coach. He has the most decorated coach right now in terms of wins, championships. But I think it's time now to get a new to build a new culture in San Antonio,
Hmm.
and they have a good player, Deon
The Jonathan
Murray,
Murray. Hmm.
DeJounte Murray. So build around him. He definitely has what it takes to be the next star. I just try to build around him and create a good team, a good balanced team. Enhance the Spurs because they do build their team. They do develop players. So they have a good coaching program where they just build their players. They scout their players, get their players from the drafts, and work with them, and just create prospects, great prospects. So
Hmm.
really think they should just do a full rebuild, keep some of your core players, and go from there.
Nice. That's a lot of good insight from you both. But I want to transition into the playoff series because this is where we at. This is where we are
Exactly.
right now.
That's
Playoffs.
become
Playoff
the tough one.
series, and so far, based on what I've seen, the team's looking good. The team's looking competitive. Nothing short of what I
Competitive.
expected. So is exciting basketball all around the league right now. Um, let let me start off with the first game impressions from each series from you guys. Let me
Yeah.
start with Grizzlies and I forgot the other team, but
Timberwolves.
yeah,
Timberwolves.
Grizzlies and Timberwolves.
So,
You want?
yeah,
Mhm.
I can go first. I think that this was just an impressive game from Anthony Edwards from the jump. I watched, as I say, as a Timberwolves fan, I watch all the games for the year, and when he comes out aggressive from the start, it's pretty hard to stop him through the rest of the game, truthfully. And that was just on display. Like, he was hitting
Trees was
everything.
up. Trees was up.
Trees mid range, and this thing about it, he's not a big mid range shooter, but he was hitting the shots from the mid range. He was
Mhm.
essentially taking what the defense was giving him because the type of coverage that the Grizzlies were playing was allowing him to have some space in the mid range area, and he was pulling out and knocking it down, which he doesn't usually do. He's more of a attack the basket, shoot trees type of guy. But it was good to see that kind of blend in the game, and had the defenders guessing as to what he was going to do next. People say the mid range is dead, but it provides you that flexibility to kind of mix it up when you're scoring at all three levels. So it was beautiful to see. Carl Anthony Towns had a bounce back game from that horrible game, and he playing
Mhm. Yeah.
primarily due to I would say the defensive scheme that the Grizzlies employed. If they had did employ the same scheme that the Clippers had, maybe we went to seeing a repeat of that meltdown that he had. I don't know. They did do a similar thing sparingly through the game, but you can't put Steven Adams on cap for the whole game. You can get cut.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Uh,
Steven a bit too slow for Cat.
yeah. The thing about
He's
this,
strong,
Plus,
but
Cat, plus,
yeah,
Cat, plus, Cat can shoot too. Cat's a good
exactly.
shooter.
Yeah, he's stretching out the floor. Somebody that you want to defend the paint and Steven Adams, you put in here out from there, and then once you pass it around, you create some space for your wings to get to the basket without so
Yeah,
much defensive pressure. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
You get past him.
uh, I think Memphis is going to come back with a better game plan for number two, but this is going to be the most exciting series out of all the first round
Whoa,
series.
most exciting.
oh,
Yes, I can say that.
You calling it?
I can say my prediction though right off the bat. Truthfully, I think the Grizzlies going to take it in seven, but I think it can go all the way down to the wire. Um, I wouldn't
buzzer
even be
beater.
surprised. I don't know if it's buzzer beater, but I wouldn't even be surprised if the Wolves upset them and win and go on to
Mhm.
the next
You
round.
got you got to pick. You got to stick to one, man.
No,
Which
no,
we
no,
Well,
you,
no. I tell you my
Wolves
pick.
start
Yeah,
hot though,
yeah. I
Wolves.
tell you my
because
pick.
Wolves win away.
My
So
pick is the Grizzlies in seven. My pick is the Grizzlies in seven.
Grizzlies in 7.
All right, all right, all right,
Grizzlies
all
in
right. That's
seven.
fair.
But I'm saying
Money
I
makes
won't
no
be
sense.
surprised if the Wolves come out with the series win because they're
Wolves
playing
hungry.
yeah they're hungry and they're playing with a lot of
The hungry.
confidence right now and that win against that
Grizzlies
first
bigger
first
though,
game win
buddy.
that first game win that first game win is
It's
I think
crucial.
people underestimate getting the win at home.
It's
This
crucial
this
for
game
the
too is
psyche.
going to be big for the Grizzlies, especially John Morant. They gotta find a way to win this next game because as they're
Is
doing, it can be
they go play? They
really,
go play
really,
two
really
away
tough.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah, they go
exactly.
play
It can
two
be
away
really, really
games.
tough for them. And that's tomorrow night, critical game. So this might change the series. This one game might change the series. So let's see how that goes.
I won't put too much emphasis on that because if you look through the NBA history, we have seen many times that the home teams go down 0-2. and then they go back, and then they go away and win 2 games on the road. So I mean, it happens. It happens. It
It
happens.
happens, but it's not that often that it
It's
does. Like, all right,
you wouldn't
I can
want it to
tell you the
happen, but it happens.
the last case that it happened in is the Bucks from last season. But at the end of the day, the Bucks got multiple all-star caliber players. I feel like the Grizzlies don't have that star power that I could say, or I could put the is only Ja. So
You,
when
you
Ja
keep,
outerate, who's going to be the person
but
that
but
has
but
that
let's
star
not but
capacity to
let's
step
not
up?
But
forget.
remember that the
These,
Grizzlies was a good team without Ja
exactly,
too.
exactly. Let's not
That's
forget.
okay.
I
That's
know. I know.
fine.
This is playoffs, but let's not
Yeah.
forget that was a case too. That they were a team that was deep and they could play well without having their star player and be effective. Let's not forget that.
I ain't
But
forgetting that, but I just feel like the playoffs become a star-driven type of atmosphere. If you got go-to bucket getters, you will. If one of them get taken away, you got another one. And I feel like on offense, Ja is the heart and soul of their offense to a certain extent. He's the one that they would lean on when nobody else is has it going. Like, you would have
okay,
to have a big game from some random person, if you get what I'm saying. But let me look at it from the perspective of Timberwolves. You got Anthony Edwards that could give you a big game. You got D'Angelo Russell that could give you a big game. You got Carl Anthony Towns that could give you a big game. To me, the Grizzlies only got one player that could do that. In the instance of the Bucks last year, you got Giannis that could give you a big game. You got Drew Holiday that could give you a big game. You got Chris Middleton. You got options. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like the
Mhm.
Grizzlies have no
you
options.
got
Yeah, but the
Dylan
Grizzlies might
Brooks.
not need the option. That's my point. Like Grizzlies is such a good team together. Like they're a good unit. If points could share across the team, I feel Grizzlies could pull it together.
I just saying that you need star power to crawl out a O2 hole at home. That's just my philosophy. I don't see any teams that don't got the guys that got the star
Mhm.
power just being able to go and win two at somebody else home. Like, that's a little bit difficult. I hear
It
Kendrick
is.
Perkins saying it the other day. Like, role players play best at home. If you can't get these wins at home, then it can be difficult for you role players to come and step at the away arenas. If you get what I'm saying, and it's Ja and a bunch of role players
Ja
at the
built
moment.
different.
So
I agree.
he
I
could
agree.
be. He could be built
I
different.
mean,
We'll find out. But I just saying, like, they need to win the next game in order to make it less scary for them, for
Yeah.
themselves.
I
If you get what I'm
I
saying.
agree. I agree. No one wants to go down, or two at home. But I guess looking at the first game, I think the Timberwolves were hyped and ready and eager to go off of their dramatic win in the playing tournament. Patrick Beverly being Patrick Beverly, hype as ever. You know, being the first time they made it to the playoffs in a very long time. I think they were just energetic and ready to play, eager to play, something to prove. Are they going to go seven? Are they going to beat Grizzlies? I need they're the seventh seed. I would like to I would like to say they get a good game, but I think it's going to go 7 games, and I feel like the Grizzlies might hold on to it. I feel the Grizzlies going to bounce back. But
Mm.
same, but same,
Grizzlies in
but
seven two
but same,
times.
yeah, same. But I might not be surprised if Timberwolves had actually beat them. But I just think Grizzlies going to find a way.
All
But
you
I
gonna
think,
say is that
You
all you
might,
gonna say is that
you
you gonna
might
echo my
sound like
prediction.
yeah, me.
nah,
All
but
you
I
gonna
just
say-
tell
but
you
not.
myself, you might sound
It,
just like
it,
my
it,
boy.
it's
echo me.
You might just be all that talk to say, but
but hey, too great minds think alike. All right. But, but yeah, for this one, I just feel like they're gonna have they're the second seed for a reason, right? I mean they they're new to the playoffs, and they might have the nerves, they didn't play well. But when you look at the Timberwolves, right? Do you think these players are gonna play this? Do you think they're gonna execute the same way again? Like, you think these guys are gonna get these exact same numbers again? This is like you can call it an anomaly, right? So realistically,
Maybe
I don't.
listen to me. Listen to this. I keep saying this. No other young team has this. Timberwolves got three players, not one, not two. They got three players that could go and get you a bucket at any point in the game. You yourself just say that offense is important. Yes, defense gotta be important, but you gotta be able to keep your distance with the scoring more points, etc., etc. At the end of the day, too, you still gotta be able to get a bucket. You got three players on the team that F1 is not having a great time. You look at D'Angelo Russell; he was not good in that first game.
Yeah, he wasn't. But Patrick Beverly contributed with 10 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. He was He played by
Right?
his
But he played
standards.
his role. He played
And
his
Malik,
role.
Malik Beasley got 23 points, right? Do we expect Malik Beasley to go and get 20 points every game? That was
No,
a
you know,
big. So it's
that's the
like,
thing. You don't need Malik Beasley to get 20 points every game, because you know what? In the game that he doesn't, DeAndre Russell could got 20 points. And the thing about it is, Malik Beasley is the type of player that could get you 20. He was averaging 20 last season. Yeah, last season he averaged 20 points a game actually. So it's not out of the realm of possibility for him to do so. Truthfully, thinking about it, I, I
we
just
shall see.
I just think that, as I said, the Grizzlies gotta win this next game, or it can be hell.
All
It
right,
can
we
be
shall
hell
see.
from this point
We
on.
shall see.
From
Look,
that point.
both of y'all went Grizzlies in 7, but again aggressive. All this slalom talk, Grizzlies in 6
All
because they
right.
already lose one. If
Uh,
Grizzlies has win the first game, I would have said Grizzlies in 5, but Grizzlies in 6. I got Grizzlies to this. Not I can't say destroy, but like a 4-2. That's what it can turn out to be, a
Okay.
4-2
all
for sure. We got Pelicans and Suns. Everybody know that the Pelicans
it's
barely
not a little too
squeezed
bright.
through.
It's not a little too bright
They
for the
barely
Pelicans.
squeezed through, and I feel like the Pelicans in Icarus position right now, them flying too close to the Suns, and they will be burned. So I don't know
But
if we got much to say about this, but Pelicans, I don't think Pelicans will be able to make it.
Um, I, I think there's a pretty simple prediction right here, because we already established that from the conversation we had.
Yeah,
Pelicans, like, is great that they get to be in this position to get the experience. Suns has been too dominant of a team the whole season to lose even a game to the Well, I mean, it could lose a game, but
you always lose
yeah,
again.
yeah, but
they've been losing no game, big
I
man.
don't believe they lose a game. I think
Suns in
this
They
is
they
4.
it's pretty brooms.
they ain't losing series for sure. If it depends. If once the Suns,
Swift or
I
sweeper.
expect Suns to win the second game for sure. If they win the third game, sweet, sweet for sure. Four all get the broom, they gone. But the Pelicans gonna put out a fight,
The
and it's gonna
Pelicans
come
might
to,
fight for
and
5, boy.
yeah, they might fight for five. They might try to get that gentleman sweep, but if they don't win the third game, it's over. But I expect the Suns to win this series hands down. Every time the Suns, I hope no player gets injured. But even if CP3 is to go down, I still got the Suns to win. Like so, Suns all the way.
Nice, nice. Then we got Denver and Warriors. Denver Nuggets and Warriors.
Oh, you see Jordan Poole? Jordan Poole is lighting men up, and Steph is still there too. Bruh, Jordan Poole with over 30 points. Like
He was cooking for real.
if Jordan Poole is playing this well, and you still got Steph and Clay, come on, man. Your kitchen wants to these. Your kitchen wants to the Warriors right now. He ain't got that. He ain't got that for the spirit. He ain't wants the Warriors right now. The Warriors on a different level right now. That's the truth. So I got the Warriors hands down for that series. If they keep and then they have
How
championship
much games, buddy? How much
experience.
games?
Five, get five. I do believe, Jokic is a great player, and they're gonna find a way to execute. There've been talks about Michael Porter Jr. returning. But even before him return, I still think they might get one game. That Jokic might take all of his might and power and will to get one game, but I don't think he win any more than that one game. So
Jokic might prove what he should be
yeah,
MVP. You never know.
he improved it for one game, but he ain't beating Steph, Clay, and Jordan Poole. If Jordan Poole plays, I don't expect Jordan Poole to go for 30 every single game. But if Jordan Poole could at least get another 20, like average 20 points per game in this series, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
That's fair. Wave one.
Yeah, I agree. I've been saying this for a while now. Don't know how the Nuggets going to overcome them. Truthfully, I just got in me that Jokic can play at least one phenomenal game to at least get in one win. But they don't got, again, they don't got the star power. They don't got the the consistent star power to get you buckets when you need them the most. They're playing okay defense, but then he don't have anyone else to help him lift the load on a consistent basis,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
that's going to be the downfall of the Nuggets. Truthfully, he carried them as far as he could, and I don't think he can get them past the first round, especially against the Warriors.
These
I
games
saw
go down
something
Nuggets.
on Instagram a couple weeks back saying that the Warriors was I think it was somewhat of a meme-ish type thing, but saying basically that the Warriors was going undercover for a little bit, just losing a couple of games to make people feel as though,
That am legit.
they're struggling or something, yeah, and then can just come back hot in the playoffs and just wash off everybody. What y'all think about that? Just a quick response.
I don't think
I
that's
think,
the case.
yeah, I think they lost a bit of form, but I don't
Yeah,
think they would want. I don't think they would want to drop in seed because if
exactly.
you drop in seed, you ought to be getting the more difficult fixtures to get to the NBA finals. So I think they just lost a bit of form. Uh, Curry wasn't playing as well. Clay came back. I think changed kind of like tweaked their chemistry. They had to adjust for Clay because they wanted Clay to be firing again. So I think that was all that really
Mhm.
happened. But I don't think they were staying on the cover.
A quick
Fair,
note, quick
fair.
comments from the chat. Um, Cole's got Wolves in six. Nothing more, nothing less. He says. He also wants to know if DeAndre Ayton is the best big in the league. I don't know where that question come from. That's on out of pocket. That's on out of
I
you know,
pocket.
mean,
you know,
I saw him shooting mid-range shots,
Yeah,
and
you see
and
MB boy,
he
Jokic
exactly,
boy,
exactly,
Giannis boy.
exactly.
In
Capo,
3 minutes
yeah.
alone,
Come
even
on,
in
man.
3 minutes alone,
Aiton coming up, boy. Don't sleep on Aiton.
coming
All
up
right,
again there yet.
before we go on break, let me touch on this series between Celtics and Nets. We
Woo.
had an interesting
Man,
game,
I
a
feel like I
very
feel like we gotta save some special thing. Let me do
you,
that.
you,
Let me do
if you
that
got
after we
system
come
special
back.
do
thing,
it, do it, do it,
we
do
could,
a different line, do a different lineup when I come back.
yeah,
A
let me
different
we
fixture, a
could
different
talk
fixture.
Jazz versus Mavs to round out the Western Conference.
sure,
Um,
go ahead, go ahead, quick
I
fire.
don't think the Mavs got a chance to win this game if Luca doesn't play. That's just my synopsis. If Luca doesn't come back for any game, I think that
Is it
the
sleep?
Mavericks might like squeeze out one game, but ultimately the the Jazz are going to win this series if Luca doesn't play. I would say Jazz in five.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even before I knew Luca was injured, I had the Jazz to win. I just felt like they've been to these roads before, and the Mavericks always came on top. I personally believe that Donovan Mitchell wasn't going to let that happen a third time. He was gonna switch it up, but know that Luca is out. Well, that just seals the deal. That's like the bow on the gift. There's no way I see the Mavs beating the Jazz in this series without Luca. And if it does happen, blow up the team. Blow up the team. Rudy Gobert gotta go. You gotta keep Donovan Mitchell, but you got everybody going except for Donovan Mitchell. Starts from scratch. The coach going too, GM going, everybody going. You can't lose to the Mavs without Luca. Nah,
That's
it
true.
ain't right. It ain't
I
happening.
ain't something right. I don't.
Yeah, it
I
ain't
don't.
happening. You
So
gotta blow up the team.
so you got Jazz in how much?
For me,
What?
or
I want to say
no,
I
no,
want I
Hakim.
want I want to say I want to say Jazz and fight because I do believe that Jazz. No, I do believe that Jazz and slip up some at some point in time. They're gonna lose focus.
Oh,
But don't call it four. But I really believe it's gonna be five because I just think they're gonna lose because I think they still have Mavs still have special Dinwiddie and he might explode
Yeah.
for one game. I mean, like,
Yeah.
he might explode. So I'll put five for gentleman sweep.
he gonna
Gentleman over
explode,
here.
big man. Jazz can just get tired because they're gonna be playing hard. When them get to three, then them gonna get a game squeezing because of that tiredness. So Jazz, might hold off each other for a little bit, just coast, might end up losing the game, and then they can win in the fifth game.
All right,
All
so that's
right,
your prediction, Hans.
five.
That's my
Jazz in five too.
prediction.
All right.
That's my prediction,
All
and
right.
that's my prediction for why Jazz will lose. But for sure,
But you say
Jazz can bring the music.
but you saying Jazz you saying Mavs in five? Mavericks?
Jazz, buddy,
Oh.
Jazz.
My stutter learning.
Jazz, buddy. Anyways, people, that's been a cool segment for a segment. We can come back and talk Nets versus Celtics. Some hype matchups coming up between those two in this series, and I can't wait to talk about it. So stay tuned, people. We'll be back in a few. Astro family, we are back, peoples. We back to talk about Celtics versus Nets. Hype game. I ain't want to hug it. Let me get straight to it. Hakeem, your thoughts on that first game, my brother?
Honestly, that game, I watched that game from top to end. That game was great. That was fantastic. High energy. Uh, a lot of different dynamics. Like JSN and Jalen Brown came out to play. I felt like Kyrie was on a whole another level. Like Kyrie was in his bag. Kyrie was just doing mid range threes, pull ups. My hit. The amount of threes I saw Kyrie hit back to back. At the time he had the nets on his back, just carrying our team. KD, he had like inefficient. I think 24 point, no, yeah, 23 points. I think he took 24 shots to get it. But KD wasn't his normal self. Got a couple turnovers, but the amount of lead changes within that game was incredible. I think it was at 19. Just high intensity. Marcus Smart played well. Good, solid defense all around. Well, solid defense more so from the Celtics. The Nets,
So that's really,
defensively,
really good defense.
yeah. The Nets weren't the best defensively, but just that was a game of tactics. I think Celtics had a better tactical game. Ultimately, I feel like KD not being himself. If there's one positive thing that can be taken from this game, is the fact that KD did not play to his normal standard, like minimum standard, and
That's
they
positive for Celtics.
no positive for Nets. For if they could take anything from this loss, that KD didn't play well, and they only lost this game by one at buzzer beater. Like they were second game. So the fact that KD played quote unquote trash and still only lost by 1 point at a buzzer beater, I think the Celtics in for some trouble. Like the Celtics, they got their work cut out for them because, but best and believe these men have turned up in that second game for sure. Like KD's not gonna say, "Oh, I had 23 points. That's not bad. Look, I had 23 points with 24 shots. I'm going for 30. I'm going for 40." Like he be cooking this game, man. So I think this is going to be the series of this round. I don't know about the Grizzlies. Everyone chose the Grizzlies and Timberwolves, but for me, I'm most excited to see this series here because this is not the traditional seventh seed here. This could be an easy one seed here caliber type team. So this is gonna be a great line. Actually, kind of I have the Nets to win, so I kind of like feel for Celtics. When they're gonna go at the 2 seed, but they come back again next year, man.
So Nets ain't 7 for you?
That's it. Might even
My
be
man, don't put no
might,
words in him.
No, I trying
might,
to figure out. I asking.
might even be 6.
You gotta choose one.
How you could be
Might
so
even be
confident?
6.
How you could
Might
be
even
so
be 6.
confident
You gotta lock
in
in
Bruh.
them. You gotta lock
and
in
got
these
Nets in
predictions.
7?
KD plays so much trash, bro, and they
But
only
big
look.
man,
They just look.
that's
And
just a
then
warm up. That's just a warm up.
and they just played like 2 nights before, a couple of days before. And like,
Right.
they had
So
it's not they had a whole set time to really prepare for the Celtics.
man, they
Like
had a whole
Celtics,
season to prepare for
no,
Celtics.
no,
We're
no. But
talking
Celtics
about
had time to create and devise a game plan. They know who they knew who they were gonna play.
Yeah, from Tuesday
So
last week.
yeah, I mean, they really didn't knew because I don't think no one expected the Cavaliers to beat the Nets.
Sure.
So they would have they thought they would have created a scenario for Celtics, sorry for Nets or a scenario for the Cavaliers. But I felt like they knew Nets were going to win, so they had more time to prepare. So let's say the Nets were tired, the Nets bought about and taking this game straight 3 games on the road, straight 3 games, bam.
right. So how you get in 7 then?
No,
If
no,
I
Nets
said
can
I
take
said 6. I said
said
6.
six.
They're
Oh,
going to win.
6?
They're going to win the next 3 games. Probably going to lose the 5th game, and then they'll win it. Then win the 6th game.
Probably
So I
gonna
got
lose the 5th game. The man always giving these teams like, all right, we can allow you to lose one, and then hopefully you can bring it back.
Nets going to be the next 3, but it's going to be close. It's not going to be blowout games. It's going to be close games. But Nets win next 3 games straight.
Uh,
So I got net.
All right, easy.
I think this game was the best game of the game ones. So far, it was a close game. It was a
How's
buzzer
no?
beater game. That last play was insane. It also highlighted one of the Nets' greatest weaknesses: defense.
Defense.
Um, and that's not even on that possession alone. The last 2 possessions, the last 2 buckets scored by the Celtics, 2 easy, pretty much uncontested layups. Pretty at the end of the day.
Yeah, I carry guarding Jason Tatum.
Yeah, exactly. It was not he was specifically guarding. He just in that spot at the time.
Yeah.
But either way, great move by Justin. Great. I would say
Awareness.
awareness. Yeah, that's the best word to use because that could have easily just been a crash. He spin off a career and scored it. That was beautiful to watch. Truthfully, again, shout out to Marcus Smart for winning Defensive Player of the Year. When we did
Mhm.
our predictions about that, I think I mentioned him, but I didn't think that he would have been in the top runnings for it. But great to see. It's been a long time coming. He probably should have been it sometimes before this actual time, but as I said, long time coming, well deserved. One of the first guards in a while to win Defensive Player of the Year. I think since Gary Payton, and that is well by maybe early 2000s, late 90s, that he would have won Defensive Player of the Year. So great to see it. Kudos to him. Um, on that note, overall, this series is going to be one of the best. I think it will come second to the Grizzlies. Maybe that might be a personal preference thing, but I think that this is going to be one of the next best series for this first round. Um, I gotta go with the Celtics in seven for this one. I don't think that KD and Kyrie are gonna let them walk over them. This is a close win, as you see. It was a tough win, and I think all the games going on from here are going to be pretty close games like this. I don't foresee any blowout games. If there is a blowout game,
Gotta be for notes. It gotta be for next.
it might be the Nets just being too offensively efficient. I don't see the Celtics blowing out the Nets really because I feel like they have the offensive power to stay close in the score throughout the games. But I gotta
Even
say,
even if they're down by like 20 points.
yeah,
So that's
they got the
just
power to
yeah.
come back offensively, truthfully. Um, but I feel like Celtics is going to dominate each game more often than not. Whether it's a comeback of their own or just taking hold of the game throughout the series, the Nets may just be floating, keeping it close. It just to me, they just don't have anyone to get them the stops. The only boy that I can say that would generate stops is KD, and KD can't do everything, man. Truthfully, he can't do everything. He's been trying to do as much as he can, but he got. I think the
Except for
Celtics
defense.
the Celtics did a good job on him. In that first game, truthfully, a lot
They,
of people
they
say it
did.
was
They
a
did.
bad game for
They did.
KD, but I feel like a lot of that was to the credit of the Celtics players playing great defense.
But can you see it happening again?
Man,
That's the
nobody
question.
can guard KD,
I
man.
see
But can
Al
you?
Horford
That was
knock him
just
down
KD
on it.
playing poor.
And
If if you,
Horford had an incredible
with
game
the,
too. That's
Al
all
Horford had.
likely
How you mean that's only
to
you
happen.
don't know who's
To,
Al Horford? Al Horford
uh,
can give you a steady uh, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and play exceptional defense. And that's just about what he do. Maybe scored a little bit more points, maybe grab a little bit rebounds.
Horford had 20 points,
That's okay.
15 rebounds.
That's
He
okay.
is not getting 20 points. He's not averaging 20 points for this game. He's
No,
not going
he's
to get
not
20
going to average
points.
20 points for the series, but he's going to be consistent in the things that he do
And
on defensive and maybe not score that much points. He's going to get
definitely
them
not. That was
rebounds
that
and
was
he's
a
going to
major
pass the
factor.
ball very well.
He's going to pass, but I think the point. I think it's about points too. So I for me, I look at this game. I think Celtics should feel good, but they should be worried. You know, if KD had played well that game and they still won, I think they'd be like, okay, yeah, we got this under control. If KD and Curry combine for at least 60 points, they could say the two top dogs win for 60 points. We still beat them. We ain't win this series. But
I
KD
think
had a poor.
I think KD had a poor game because they played well on him defensively. I think a lot of people don't
Nobody
want.
can guard the sniper, big man.
And nobody don't want to give
Intensity.
them credit for that. I don't understand why.
They
Nope.
played well. They played well. The double
KD
team
played
well.
poor.
They you know they hit it with a lot of different defensive tactics. But
Yo, I see so
he is
many
regarded
teams try
he's
to
regarded as
guard
one of the
KD,
best
right?
players.
I saw so many people try to guard KD, even though they did well, like they're up in KD grill. KD's still sniping. So I feel like based on what I see, just based on what I see, I feel that KD had a poor game, and
Yeah,
that was it. He wasn't hitting
both could be
much of
true.
his shots at
Both could be
all.
true.
No, sir.
Both
KD
can
had a
be
bad
true.
game.
Both can coexist.
Both can be true. They played the good defense,
In
and KD
theory,
also had a bad game.
yes. In KD's scenario, no. KD had a bad game. Well, I guess we will see next game to see how KD perform, or let's see if we could actually see some defensive um implementation on KD actually working,
Hmm.
right? Then we could revisit game one and say, all right, yes, Celtics really getting into KD right now. But I feel based on what missing, and it was unfortunate to see. And then like as an athlete, right, when you know that you play poor and then you lose by 1 point, I feel like that had to hurt he at some point afterwards. Like Jeez, no, I played poor. I caused my team this defeat. So next game we'll definitely see what happened, but I feel like KD just had a poor game.
Okay.
That's it. I
So
don't feel nobody had any thing to do with KD's performance, to be honest.
so it sounds like me that you're saying Nets in six.
I wanted to go Nets in six, but Jason and Jalen doing a very good job. Marcus Smart as well
The
doing a
two,
very good job.
as we heard
And
before, the two best perimeter players since Scotty and Jordan.
I ain't say that. I didn't say that. Don't put no words in my mouth. I ain't say
You know,
that. I ain't say
but
that.
yeah, though I feel like this will be a very close series. I also like Hakim have this for the most exciting first round series. So I can be a little biased and go with Nets, but I wouldn't count out Sardis
So Nets in seven
at
or
all.
six.
Nets in seven, man.
Alright,
Nets in seven.
alright, cool.
all right.
Nets in seven. Um, moving on. Who should we do
I
next?
think we should do the game that's going on, no? The Sixers versus the Raptors.
Sixers game, man. We're in the series.
I truthfully I want to start on this one. I
Yeah, go
truthfully
ahead.
thought the Raptors were going to give the Sixers more trouble than they have been given. Truthfully, so far, I really thought it would go to a 7 game series, but so
We
far
thought so.
the Sixers have been pretty dominant. Now that first game alone was very telling, very dominant. The thing about it is Embiid didn't even have a good game. That's the thing about it. And they were
This
still
man hammering,
right now them getting
hammering
destroyed.
Raptors.
Right now the score is
Oh my god.
89-66 to the Sixers.
Yeah,
And in
I
third
seen it
quarter,
now.
in the end of the third
92, just
quarter.
turned 92.
Yeah. The clearly the Raptors can't get any offense going, and Embiid is lighting them up. 28 points, 11 rebounds. That's sad. That's tough.
Somebody bring the
Yep.
broom.
You might be right in this one because this is two back-to-back dominant games from them. They still have to go to play in Toronto, so anything is
Well,
possible.
anything's
Never
possible.
get this
But
Swiffer sweeper special.
but I just think that I don't again this comes down to like what I was speaking about having those star offensive players. Um, the Raptors are a very balanced team. Is tough. A lot. There's not
You
many
don't have any
balanced
player that's
team.
going to explode. You don't
Yeah,
have any player that's going to
yeah.
explode for
They do
points.
have players that
Van
could
Fleet, you
explode.
mean Van Fleet?
Maybe Van Fleet, maybe
Yeah.
Gary Trent Jr. Actually, he could explode for a lot of points. But I didn't
But
know
Gary
about
Trent Jr.
that.
is more of a spot-up shooter, is he not?
No, he's a shooter, but he could do a lot of other things. I think a lot of people don't realize that about him. He could do off the dribble, get to the basket, etc., etc. He's a pretty well-rounded offensive player, but more known for three-point shooting. Yes. Um, Siakam is not a star player that can carry a team. He is a second.
Yeah,
A,
second or even third
yeah,
star.
yeah,
You see,
yeah,
the second or even
exactly,
third star.
exactly. So I don't know who else on this team could take the mantle. I think, and it is a
Scotty Barnes needs some time to develop.
yeah, like it's embarrassing. I can give my pick right now. I can see I can say Sixers in five.
Predict it. I knew it. Hakeem, where you going with?
Anyways, right? I want to say this is a 4, but it's so hard for me to see.
I mean, for right
Like,
now,
and
easy to say.
there are not many teams they can say that and get swept.
So who you thinking?
Hakeem stick.
Oh yeah, also boy.
It look like Hakeem stick.
I
Because
go and put the health out there.
You come you
Oh,
just stay
he-
for a second.
no, come
just now.
back.
Yeah.
I feel
Oyster,
that it's
oyster,
stick because
oyster.
Yeah.
I feel
Oh.
it's stick because he was about to talk a lot of
Hey,
nonsense.
hey,
But
hey,
anyway,
hey. But I ain't go. So what was the last time you guys heard? Just make sure I don't repeat myself.
can't even remember.
You were. I think you were about to make your prediction for the Raptors. Um, for the
All right,
Raptors
so
Sixers.
okay, so basically, I'm gonna go with. I want to say.
Raptors in
More.
6.
Nah,
Oh,
Raptors.
go ahead, go ahead.
Raptors
I
to win
just
this series
playing.
at all. I got Sixers to win this game. I want to say sorry, not this game, this series. I'm gonna go on 4. It's such a once everyone stays healthy, such a dominant performance right now by 76ers. And James Harden isn't even playing well
Well,
per se.
it's true.
That's the thing. So I mean, hopefully he finds himself in this series. So he when he faces the tougher teams, he'll be more prepared, be better prepared. But I going to 2004. I calling it early.
That's two predictions that I got right from 201. I call Ray 1 in 5 and I call you in 4 even before you say it. But you already know you're going 76ers in 4.
Oh, all right.
Aggressive.
I feel like that's a
With a
good bet.
super special, buddy. That's what it is. Sorry, Raptors, but I don't think Raptors got the pedigree for this one. They're gonna get a early dismissal for sure, for sure.
I think that's very fair, as fair as it could be. Um, the next we could just start to talk about the next game. We got the Heat versus the Hawks.
Ooh,
Hmm.
Uh, I think this is sweet. I was thinking that Trey Young was,
Them birds might get cooked, yeah,
yeah,
cause the way the way how he playing, you already know your boy
yeah.
your favorite dad Tyler Hero. He playing good. Even your boy Kalori, who hasn't been playing that great all season,
Mhm,
has been showing some good form so far.
mhm.
So he's looking real good
Yeah, the
at
amount
this
of
point.
defenders that he could throw at Trey Young, which is basically their saving grace on the Hawks, is I think it's just going to be too much to bother him. He's not going to be able to carry them that he has throughout the play and what's not because of the defensive intensity that the Heat team can provide at all different
Hmm.
levels, from the big players like Bam back down to
like
the
small
smaller
players like
players like
Kalori.
Kalori,
Yep,
exactly,
yep.
all the way around. So it's going to be tough for Trey Young to battle that alone. That he would have to get somebody to step up, Bogdanovich or Gallinari or somebody else to step up offensively. And I just hope just from seeing how they were playing, I don't think that is going to happen. Truthfully,
Yeah, I
So
got. Mhm.
so you giving them the special or
I say Heat in four, man.
that's
Yeah,
funny that you say Heat in 4, but you give Raptors 1 game. That's
Yeah, I
interesting.
just think that they have some level of edge to them when they go home and play at home. They probably are going to be better than we think. Um,
Hmm.
and I feel like
That
Nick Nurse can find a way to
that
coach a
Toronto
win.
vibration can be
Yeah,
different.
yeah. I think Nick Nurse can find a way to coach a win. At
Fair
least
yeah,
enough.
he can
I believe so
outsmart
too.
Doc Rivers in some aspect or the other. It's tough because he don't got any personnel to guard Embiid specifically, but I feel that he can find a way to at least win one.
Hmm.
I
You
agree.
saying Hakeem?
Um, I think the Hawks are going to be outclassed. I think the first game was really due to fatigue. To be honest,
Yeah, yeah, because
uh,
yeah,
yeah,
good point.
because they had to play 2 games to get into the
Hmm.
playoffs.
Yeah.
But I do expect the Hawks and specifically, Ice Trey to bounce back and at least play better. He had a below he had like a below 10 point game, which is irregular for Trae Young. He's not really a player known to like underperform or catch nerves or just go
Hmm.
cold in the negative connotation in a
Hmm.
playoff series.
Yeah.
So everything was just fatigue that played a factor. So I do see the Heat winning in 5 games
Hmm.
nonetheless.
Hmm.
The Heat have a plethora of high caliber players that are defensively oriented as well as offensively. And as Ravon correctly said, they could throw a bam the bigger players straight down to Kyle Lowry, and they obviously got Jimmy Butler there, who's going to be a pass. PJ Tucker, who's going to be a pass. Like PJ Tucker, a lot of people remember PJ Tucker was guarding Kevin Durant last playoffs, and he did it pretty well. So what's going to be Trae Young, who's a man that's more of his size, so who's actually smaller than him. So I do see the Heat winning this game, and the Heat's team is so deep. They have their team is deep, and Victor Oladipo didn't even play last game. They got them on my bench just cool and ready to come into action. So I got the Heat in 5. They bring the
In
Heat
5.
Heat in
Well,
5.
interesting.
What about you, Hans?
In 4, buddy, aggressive. Heat in 4. Telling yourself there's
As a
no way.
as a
Cause
aggressive
look,
mood.
look, Trey Young, understandably good player, right?
Hmm.
But like one of your arguments earlier from the Grizzlies, if not Trey Young, then who?
Exactly.
And then you got Heat with a bunch of people that could literally just destroy Hawks without a Trey Young. And if Trey Young have to take the Hawks on his back for 2 games, he can be too tired to even, and he can just overwhelm you.
Yeah,
So ain't four, buddy. Ain't four is a sweep. I feel like if they had to get one game, Heat gotta be terrible
yeah,
in that game.
correct.
There's no way Heat playing normal will allow the Hawks to beat them,
Yeah,
especially in the playoffs. So in
I can't do
four, big
that.
man.
I think the only way that they win a game is if the Heat offense is atrocious and the Hawks offense is amazing. And they,
And that's highly unlikely
yeah.
because you got Jimmy Buckets, you got Bam that got a good range shot, and you got Taylor Hero
Man,
that's
they
coming.
no, they have some struggles throughout the season with offense, truthfully, and Taylor Hero had been bailing them out most of the time. I mean, he isn't bailing them out, then there's nobody else was. So I could say
You got
he,
Tucker that sit quietly in the corner and sneaking them
yeah,
trees
but
every now and again.
he's not.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah,
that player
yeah,
you're looking
yeah.
for. If you go in to PJ Tucker for points as
You
your
know you're
go-to savior,
desperate. You know
you,
like
you,
you're
I mean,
desperate.
you know you're in trouble. You know you're in trouble.
Yeah.
He's not a staple, but he could pull up some points if he has to. I feel.
He ain't even a paper. He ain't even a paper clip, bro. Like, like,
Alright.
I'm gonna get best part TJ or TJ shot spread at you. That's fair though. Anyways, my prediction still stays. Maybe now that we talking about Hawks, you could answer Cody's
Yeah.
comment
Um,
earlier
it was
if you
about the
could
Hawks.
find it.
Oh yeah. It was
Yeah, it was
about.
about Trae Young.
But I guess we can answer the question. How
Yeah,
can Trae Young beat the Heat?
he
Trae
can't.
Young.
He
Yeah,
can't. He can't.
I can't see it.
He
Truthfully,
needs to clone. He needs to
unfortunately.
clone himself, and the clone has to be 5 inches taller.
Something
That's the
like
only way.
I don't see the Hawks coming out of this series at all. It would take some God mode level of offense from Trae Young. He would have to be like shooting maybe like 80% from the field, and I don't see the
He
Wolves
would.
defense giving
He
up
would
that
have.
Fella
from
gotta
Trae
be
Young.
a beast too.
He would have to try to generate his inner Isaiah Thomas. I mean, Isaiah Thomas, the first one from Detroit Pistons.
Something.
During the All Star break, they were having interviews with each other,
Mhm,
and both being small guards and
mhm,
being doubted because of their size.
mhm.
So you have to foster inner Isaiah Thomas to have a chance. To
And a
beat this
lot
team.
more. I just
A lot more.
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't see
Next
it.
one, Rayvon.
Well,
What's
the
the next
last
one
one.
you got on the
The
list?
last one on the list is actually the Bucks versus the Bulls. I said this
Oh,
last week. I think there's a wrap. Bucks in
Says a
four.
wrap.
Bucks in
Jeez,
four. I not even
you might
you
give
mean
Raptors one
outro?
and they give Bulls a
not a
chance.
chance.
You see who playing
Peoples,
against?
light up these comments, peoples. If you're watching this right now, light up Rayvon in these comments.
You see who playing? You see who playing
'Cause
against?
I don't believe that you ain't give Bulls one,
Look
not
at the
one.
vulnerability. Look at Alright, looking alright.
Who
This
will
is how I
guard
look at it.
Giannis?
Exactly.
Who
Who the hell
who
can
was
guard
going to guard
Giannis?
Giannis?
Giannis eat them
And
up in that
Giannis
first
dropped
game.
30 points. Giannis dropped he averaged
He
30
had
points.
20,
Man,
he
he
had
could.
27
Man,
in
they
the
show
first
Bulls
game.
no compassion.
27?
Right?
No, none. They
No.
haven't. The record shows they haven't been good against good teams, especially the Buzzy Buzz destroyed them in the season series and played them 4 times. They may win a
Mhm.
game, a single game. I don't see any way that they can win a game now because much can change other than Alex Caruso coming back, and there's only so much he could do on the defensive end. He ain't got Guardianis either. Maybe on an off chance, but not for the whole game. You still got Drew Holiday to guard. Still, somebody got guard Drew Holiday. Somebody got guard Chris Middleton. I
Mhm.
don't give them a single chance. And the way that the Bucks have been playing, the way that Giannis has been playing, it's been a supremely higher level than the Bulls have been playing. Sad to
Honestly,
say.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
this
Bulls would
on the
have
next
needed
level though.
the Bulls would
I
have
can
needed
lie.
Lonzo to be back to have a chance.
Yeah,
Just to have a
I
chance.
agree.
He would have to space the floor and he's going to defend at high level.
Yeah, he could check Chris Middleton.
All right, let
and
me
Warren, of
ask you
course.
a quick question here now. So, if Bulls was playing any other team, you think that them would get through to the next round?
No.
They'll beat I believe they'll beat Raptors. I believe they'll beat Raptors.
Yeah. The only team that they would have a chance to fight against is the Raptors. If
Hawks.
they play a lesser
And the
team
Hawks.
like
And
the
the
Hawks,
Hawks.
yeah, correct. But
Mhm.
anybody else, nah.
Smoke. They want that smoke.
All right, Bulls boy.
They might have a slim. I know they're the number one seed, but they might have a slim chance against the Heat, just because they might have had a slim chance against the Heat. Because Heat can be a lot harder to at times, but that's a far stretch. But everybody else is impossible.
Sorry, Bulls. The Astro Council has spoken.
That's right.
is a is a wrap for the
The
Bulls.
gavel,
So
the gavel is dropped.
everybody agree with Bucks in four.
Yeah, boxing for everyone boxing for. I can't see. I
Only
can't see.
because only because Giannis on a different level. Like you're right. Who who will like Giannis is too much for the league right now.
Hmm.
So
Not for the league. Too much. Too
Giannis
much
is
for the
too much for the
Bulls. Too much for
Giannis
the
is too much for the
Bulls.
league right now.
But not some. But Bucks are winning the NBA playoffs. I mean, the championship. They
Who
ain't
gonna
getting
The
win?
chip.
Lakers.
Not like right, boy, you peeping, boy. I was just about to say the Lakers can win it. I like this one.
Uh, all in all, the Bucks playing get the Bucks playing getting delayed, but they're still going home early. They ain't winning the chip. They ain't winning the chip though.
so
Early Nets round is what you're saying,
so
I
if
ain't
the
wait.
Bucks win, they gotta play
That's
either
for sure.
or the conference
The
finals is what you're
Celtics
talking.
or the Nets.
Lord have mercy. If they play the
Bucks
Nets,
could beat
not if
Nets.
when they play the Nets again, if we KD then that toe hit the lane, like, KD be checking the lane, know we shoot it.
I feel
Yeah,
like
we good.
if there's
We
any
good.
team,
We good.
if there's any team
We
that's
good.
confident in beating the Nets, is the Bucks. Truthfully,
Yeah,
We
I,
good.
I
We
feel
good.
Nets. I feel Bucks got Nets number for
hmm
sure. I think so.
me
We
too.
gonna see. We gonna see next show, man. We gonna see. We gonna see.
We shall see. So I think we already went through most
Everything,
of
yeah,
what we had to talk about for
yeah,
today. It was a good stream. It was an
yeah.
exciting stream. I hope you guys made your predictions as well. If you're live right now, put your predictions in the chat. We want to see it. We want to put you on record as well because Hasher Bros can be on record all the time. And, we're not seeing any competition from the viewers. But
Hmm.
it's been a pleasure. I got one thing to mention because I wish my boy Cody was here to talk about this. But your boy Arrow the Truth Spence, talking about boxing here, people's Arrow the Truth Spence broke a man's orbital socket and
You
stopped
got.
him in 10. Hey, stop
That
him in
sounds
10.
that
That's
Put
sounds
a
some
gory.
brutal.
belts.
That sounds
Yo,
gory.
Arrow the Truth Spence is the truth. He back. He back. And he want his man Terrence Bud Crawford. The man that is so classy, so slippery, so talented. We want to see that fight. And that's the next fight I will want because after this, he looking to go up in weight class. He not looking to play around. So wish my boy Cody was here. We could definitely chop it up on that. But hey, Astro Bros had fun. It's been a pleasure sharing this time with you guys. Hope you guys enjoy. Let us know if you guys prefer Mondays to Sunday night stream. This is the second time
Yeah.
in a row we did Mondays, so just let us know. We'll try to make that adjustment. But do you guys have anything else to say?
No, great stream as usual. Can't wait to see how the rest of the games play out for this week. But
Same.
next week we should have an idea how the series will probably play out. We should get
Yeah.
like two more games, two or three
Yeah,
more games from
yeah.
each playoff series. So it should be fun. So looking
But the
forward to the
prediction is
discussion.
locked in, people.
Yep.
So it is what it is. It's just writing it
Master
out right
lock.
now. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. Oh, also F1 coming up this weekend too. We didn't have it past weekend just because of the whole Easter holiday stuff.
Yeah.
But F1 coming up, people. So we can definitely bring some F1 next time. Hakim, anything from you, buddy? Nothing. Like you don't
Just,
want to
just,
wish your
just, just,
people well.
just
Nothing?
of course, looking forward to the games. I want to thank everybody for just coming over, taking time to watch the stream with us. We enjoy it every single week. We come here and have fun, and I bring our analysis to the games. So look for your continued support. Let's keep progressing.
For sure.
And
Anyways,
that
people,
and
that's
that's in
go
six.
ahead. Honestly, not. Hey, anyways, people, like all the bros said, thanks for watching. Hasher Bros, we see you next time, next week. Peace.
So.